So the climax or the last episode of the season is here. Let's make it more interesting. You've often heard me saying Inforiver writeback matrix. Now, what is this writeback functionality? On inforiver.com website, we have the resources tab. Let's click on documentation and then click on working with Inforiver. Let's scroll down a bit. You have got data writeback. Now, data writeback or Inforiver writeback functionality allows a user to export the data to either a file destination, data warehouses, or even lake storages. Now, all you need is the credentials of those specific destinations, and there are 20 destinations. I'll click the destinations subsection. There are 20 destinations where you can send the data to. With each, let's say, fabric warehouse is what we are going to select. With each of them, you have got the required, or let's say the prerequisites that we need to have while we are setting up writeback. So let's take a look at how we set the writeback and write back the information to the destination. And we are going to send it to Fabric Warehouse. All right, we are on Canvas right now, and our Power BI Canvas has this visual, which is Inforiver writeback matrix. In the export section, we have got the writeback subsection. Now we click on settings. First, we need to set the writeback destination. So choose a type of table structure that you want: long, wide, long with changes, wide with changes, and the information icon here will exactly show you how the structure would look like, an example of it if you click it. And then any filter that you want to place, you can even add specific columns or dimensional keys. So for example, right now we do not have any time dimension in column, but let's say if we have the exact date hierarchy inside the columns here, we can actually add a date key so that you can in future bring the same write back destination table inside this semantic model and connect the date key column with your date and calendar table. So that's going to allow you a one-to-many relationship between your date table and the date column. Now, next is you choose the data section. Now, this data section is going to help you to first observe all the measures that you have, including the implicit or native measures that are coming in from your semantic model, plus the measures that you created here. Of course, we do not want to repeat the measures that we already have created or we already have inside semantic model. So what we're going to do is we're going to just remove them, and we will only take the measures that we have created from the Inforiver visual. Now, enable automatic write back will obviously enable the automatic write back functionality, which based on the number of seconds you select, it will keep automating and refreshing the write back. And these logs will continuously hit based on whatever changes you make. But I would recommend not to select automatic write back because in real situations, only limited users have the ability to actually write back the data, because let the process be completed first, let the plan be over, let everyone decide the numbers, and then the central planning administrator or the subject matter expert of the planning process should have the provision to write the data back to the destination. Now, next tab is destination. And now we are going to select the destination. As soon as we select the destination link, we will be taken to Inforiver console, the admin console, where we will have the provision to select the destination that we want to write back the data to. All right, so these are those 20 connectors that we have, the write back destinations. I'll go with Fabric Warehouse and say continue. Now, every destination will have its own necessary prerequisite credentials. I have these. I'm not going to select the enable temporary staging table checkbox because I don't need to stage my data. And I will just fill in this information and immediately save the destination afterwards and then close this tab. So let me do that quickly and I'll take you to the canvas directly. All right, so the destination has been added. It is Fabric Warehouse. This is the table name that we have given to the write back table. We click on Advanced tab, and here we can place validations, whether we want to have no validation, whether we want the measure never to be empty, or whether we want to enter a formula. The result of the formula should be a Boolean value, either a true or a false. So we already have this specific measure that we have created as a checkbox data input measure. What we can do is simply say execute, that's the name of the measure, is equal to true. Now, if this is validated, only then the write back will function. Now, in spite of having this validated, if you want the write back not to function and prevent the write back when this validation fails, you can simply turn this on. You can enable this option which says prevent write back when validation fails. But I'll just keep it as is. The last thing is to have the new names given to your measure columns. In case if you want to give new names to the columns that you're writing back, you can do it. There's a pencil icon here. I'll close this. And then the schedule write back. If you want the write back to be scheduled, you can choose the scheduled start date, end date, the time of the schedule. This is a specific locale time that you can see here based on your system locale time settings. You want the frequency to be daily, weekly, monthly. I'll close this. And we are all set now. Let's quickly do some planning here. So we'll say 80 million. It's all distributed equally. You will use the allocation spread by 2024 actual revenue. Now the distribution is nicely spread. Now, right now the validation is placed on execution or the execute measure. And we'll just click here, execute it, and then copy it across all rows so that the validation doesn't fail. And now all we need to do is click on write back. And that's it. The write back is successful. Now, just in case if you want to execute write back actions, not in the edit mode, in the view mode. So what you can do is I'll just close this. You can select this configure toolbar setting and you click on allowed user controls. Now this will allow the user controls to be available in the read view, the reading view also, not just in the edit view. You can select write back. You, by the way, this is already by default having all the checks in place. So we are good. Now you can even write back in the read view. Let's go to the read view. First, just save this and go now to the read view. Go to full screen mode. And if I see the drop down, I'll have write back. I can simply hit write back here. Successful. Great to have you in season 2. I hope you liked all the episodes. Thank you very much.